möchte es einfach mal so.
Well, allow me, if I may, to put it in the following terms. We haven't yet had time to talk at a great length about economic issues, but I would say that the success of Germany in the economic area, but also on security and peace, that the success of Germans have always been one where the German success is one side of the coin, and the other side of the coin has been European unity and European integration. That's something of which I'm deeply convinced, and I'm not only saying this back home, I'm saying this here, I'm saying it in the United States and also here in Washington in my talks with the President. Secondly, I believe that globalization ought to be shaped in an open-minded way, but also in a very fair way. Freedom of movement within the European Union, for example, is a very important element of our economic progress, of peace, has been for many, many decades. The European countries for many, many centuries waged wars against each other. We have to protect our external borders because, and there we have to work on the basis of mutual interest with our neighbors. Migration, immigration, integration has to be worked on. Obviously, traffickers have to be stopped, but this has to be done while looking at the refugees as well, giving them opportunities to shape their own lives where they are, help countries who right now are not in an ability to do so, sometimes because they have civil war. I think that's the right way of going about it, and this is obviously what we have an exchange of views about. But my position is the one that I've just set out.
The need for a new world order, but it has different characteristics in different parts of the world.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
It's about the future of Europe and a new world order.
After 1989, President Bush said, and it was a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
And the hope that each of us has to build a new world order.
The pieces are in flux. Soon they will settle again. Before they do, let us reorder this world around us.
So that the problem of the Bush presidency will be the emergence of a new international order.
Within the next 4 years, we will see the emergence of a new international order.
The beginning of a new international order.
But today, with Asia already outproducing Europe, India and China are clearly becoming part of our new order.
Good afternoon. This is Amazon Jude in Wyoming. I think you can see my Detroit Tigers hat because I am also a Michigander. I was born and raised in Michigan. When I was 18, I went to work in the factories, Chrysler's, in American Graphite and several other small entities that all fed our automotive industry up there. I left in 1981 because we were falling under. Okay, the reason I started out with what I did on this video up front is called the New World Order. I would highly suggest that people, I know this is going to sound crazy and I should probably dig out my tinfoil hat, but it's exactly what's been going on for the last 40 years. It's all about a globalization, a global economy, a global court, New World Order. If you're curious about this, look up anything called Agenda 21. In fact, in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, they hold a conference on this, and this works into the Illuminati, the Masons. It's real, guys. This is no longer a conspiracy theory. That's the whole point on this. But I'll leave that up to you to decide for yourself. If you need any information on this, you can always contact me at amazonjude@alluretech.net, and I'd be glad to send you information or point you in the right direction to back up anything I've ever said on my YouTube channel or my Facebook or my Twitter. Today was an interesting day. Our president met with Angela Merkel from Germany, and I think anybody who's paid attention knows that Germany is not quite the paradise it once was. We did help them rebuild after World War II or World War I, and I'm just one of those people that, out with the old, in with the new. And granted, our president is an older guy, but he's not a politician. And I'm going to stand beside everything he says and what he wants to do. I would hope the Republican Party would finally quit eating each other's tails off and finally stand with our president. With Angela Merkel today, it doesn't get out much on the internet. It doesn't get out in any of the mainstream media. The fact that their own country right now is fighting the refugees that have come into their country, and their women pretty much can't walk around and do anything without a man around because these animals are tearing them up. Now, on that subject, I have to also bring up the fact that, the refugee problem wasn't a problem until countries like ours and our leaders started playing kingmakers in countries that we had no business being involved in. And I do blame Obama and Hillary and Papa Bush and Baby Bush for invading these countries that, if you look at some of the photographs that are out there from before and after we invaded their countries, it's astounding. It blows my mind. I suggest you look at that, and I suggest you, do a little research on your own for that as well. I just know that after almost 8 years being involved in politics in my state, I was very proud of our president and Congress and the Republicans. They're finally getting some balls. Come out of the woodwork, guys. Trump is not a pass in the night anymore. He is our leader, and we need to do everything we can to support his direction, his agenda. He spoke on it. He's not been secretive or hiding any of it. He has said things from the beginning, and he has continued to say them, and he is continuing to follow through on them. So I think it's time that we either, hold our local officials that are Republicans to the fire, feet to the fire. If you don't like what our president's doing, then you need to change your R behind your name to a D or an independent or a constitution, whatever it is. Quit hiding behind the R. Spring is in the air in the Rockies. As you can tell, I don't have my Wyoming shirt on. I had to do my Detroit Tigers hat today. Just because Michigan was on the front page and Ohio was on the front page of MSN, Messy News. You ever look at their polls? You know how to do their polls? You go opposite. If you support Trump, support an independent. If you support this, go the other way. Because I think what they're doing is they're taking your vote and they're sticking it in another colony or another column, like they did all through the primaries and stuff. Oh, Hillary was going to win 98% to 1. It didn't happen. Back to today, Angela Merkel met with Trump. There was something that I was really upset about, and that was in the beginning of this video, where she starts talking about New World Order, new government, New World, what'd she call it? Globalization. Globalization, my ass. If we wanted to be global, then everyone would have the same thing, and everyone would have the same this, and everyone would have the same that. But who foots the bill? The richest nations on the world. Who is that? Well, that's the United States for one, Japan for another, Saudi Arabia for another. We don't want to pay for this. That was Hillary and Obama's and Bush's problem. They created the refugee problem. They need to pay for it. Let me move on because I'm getting all lost. Department of Justice, FBI, NSA, they all say that Trump's wiretap is not real and that he should apologize to Obama. Well, I'd apologize to old Big Ears about the same time that I got 150 pounds again on my body instead of 225. The man has been subversive. He's working right in front of our faces, trying to overthrow our current government. Did you get that? He's trying to overthrow our current government. And he's getting away with it. Do you know 50 years ago his head would have been chopped off, stuck on a post, and stuck in the courtyard of the main White House for treason? And why he's getting away with this, I don't know. And flying to Hawaii to call in his classmate to hear, on refugee travel or travel restrictions, to use the same, or not really the same, to use hearsay to make his judgment. That's outrageous. That's absolutely freaking nuts. You can't even get convicted in a circuit court on hearsay. And this guy has the balls to do this? That's insane. I do have to send out a big old attaboy to Jason Chaffetz of Utah for calling out the Ninth Circuit Court or Circuit Court judges. We need another court. Yes, we do. And let Trump pick them. I think we could do a lot better with less liberals in our judge system. Now you know why. I mean, anybody who has paid attention to any of this in the last 15 years now knows that our judges are nothing but guys in black jackets using their political power to change the law, to interpret the law to best suit their political parties. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. I do also want to talk a little bit about, let's go back to the DOJ and FBI and all that. If we remember right, Clapper, Brennan, what was the other guy's name? Shoot, where is it? Escapes me. Roberts. They sat there and they lied to the Congressional Judiciary Committee. They've been caught on it. So was Loretta Lynch. She pled the fifth. Humma, Hillary's humming babe, she pled the fifth. Hillary lied. Lois Lerner lied. Eric Holder lied. They claim 17 agencies were involved in this so-called consensus of what the, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I'll have to break here for a minute because I got to gather my thoughts on this. It's just too wild. When there was only 4 that were called up in front of the Congressional Committee, all these people had lied, and they lied under oath. Hillary was the only one, you know, now that you think about it, was never put under oath by the FBI. And the FBI never had their hands on her computers or her emails. They all went out to someone else to decipher, to go through, and they reported back to the FBI. But now all of a sudden, since Trump has made his claim about wiretapping, these guys are going to come out in front. They're trying to save the DOJ, FBI, and NSA and Homeland Security because these guys are trained liars. They've been lying and they need a bust up. I would definitely replace every single player in all three of them for at least 5 under. I would take the most derelict son of a bitch in all of these guys and bring them up front because you can't trust what's there. If you want to clean house, you're going to have to go all the way back to Papa Bush. That's how you clean an agency, is fire everyone all the way back to Papa Bush, because that's where the swamp is. It's like a weed in your garden. It has all these roots to it. Well, the roots are deep, and we all know it. Anyway, let's move on. I was glad to see a lot of agencies going to get the chopping, or at least rolled back. I would chop all 17 of those that have nothing to do with the Americans, that have nothing to do with our helping our young, our old, our sick, our ones that need legal help, any of that. All 17 agencies can go. I don't want to spend $400 million teaching Africans how to fight the legal system. To me, if you don't like what your country's doing, you do what I'm doing. You get your ass out there and you fight. I don't have a gun in my hand, but I sure make it to my city councils. I sure make it to my county commissioners. And I let the state know every chance I get where they're fucking up. And that's just that. If you don't like the way your country's running, it's up to you. Nobody else is going to go stand the fight for you. I do also have to really, really love the fact that economic development's going to take a big old chunk out of their, what do you call it, their budgets. I would disband them because I can tell you on a local level, just here in Wyoming, that these guys are nothing. They are private entities hiding under the C3-4s of nonprofits. But if you ask them about what happens to the money that they get from our counties, grant monies, business loans, all of that, you know what they tell me to my face? They're a private company and they don't have to tell me squat. You're using my taxpayer dollars and you won't tell me what the administration fees are compared to what you do out there in the real world. Not going on. Also, they're using Big Bird. Big Bird. Can you believe that? Big Bird off of Sesame Street. Oh, they're gonna steal the money from Meals on Wheels. Children aren't going to be able to see Big Bird in the morning. Well, PBS, I like to call them the public bullshit station, because it's a bunch of Democrats and stupid Republicans, obviously. They get about 7% of a budget from us, the government, and they abuse it. They have a lot of good shows. I have to give them that, antique road shows and all that stuff. But I don't want to see them in our politics. I think it's another lame street media program, and I would be all for pulling funding from them. The human arts, this is a good one too. Remember when they had a doll in a museum that we pay for through the human arts that had a rope around President Trump's neck in their museum? It's been since removed from the internet. I searched all morning, couldn't find it. I was blown away by that. I spent an hour looking for that, and I wished I'd have saved the photograph when I did. It's not up to us to pay for this. This is something that should be self-sustaining by now. Just like CADA program, economic development, trails, bike paths. If you people want this stuff, then fundraise for it. Don't ask the government to roll out money to you just because it's something that's important to 25 people. There's 325 million Americans. And if we don't give a shit about a walking trail across a river, then why should we pay for it? 100 times over. I've seen these budgets. They're astronomical. And it's bullshit to begin with. The government has a basic function. And the basic function is not about giving special interest their special projects with taxpayer dollars. On to the next part. I know this is a long video, and I'm on a roll because I just spent, last 5 days watching 25 articles on every website take my president apart when he's done more for this country than the last 9 presidents combined. And all you guys can do is pick on him for lack of proper wordage or a misstep in front of media. You know what? Go fuck yourselves, boys. We're Americans, and we're done with this bullshit. I can guarantee you this. Not another politician that isn't real will ever sit in the White House. We're not going to fall for it anymore. We're going to pick an independent, Constitution Party, Rand Paul, anybody but you same old shits. Democrats, I love that you're self-exploding yourselves. Every day you look more stupid. Every day you look like you're holding on to that last little thread, Nancy Pelosi. Do you even know who the president is? I don't think you do. I think I know more than you do. Why do you have 77 staffers? You could get by with 2 because none of them are telling you the truth. Schumer, you're another one. New Yorker, right? How did you get so rich? I'd like to see your tax returns, dude. You only make $174,000 a year. So how did you become a billionaire or a millionaire? We ought to put little stickers on you of who paid for you. Well, we know the developers pay for you, especially for refugee programs. That's why you don't want the border wall. I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't making some money off of that in a big way. Of course, you did. I mean, it's out there. Your donations list shows exactly who pays for you. John McCain, you went off the deep end, dude. You used to be to where when you get to a certain age and you know you lost your fucking mind, you leave your job and you put the next guy in charge. Attacking Rand Paul on the Senate floor it is just beyond. It was called Rule 19. See, even us idiots out here are learning the words and learning the titles and reading them. You had no right to attack Rand Paul for leaving. You were running your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know who thinks you're a goddamn war hero, but bitch, all it took was 2 hours of research to find out what a fucking traitor you really are. So you Democrats, you better be on notice. We're not giving you any seats in 2018. I'd rather give it to a Constitution Party or an independent rather than give it to a Democrat. And if the Republicans can't stand up to the plate and grow some balls, you won't be in those seats either. This is the time of change. This is going to be the change because I'm not leaving this world without a change for my children. I just got one more thing to add. I know this is going to be a 30-minute video. Sean Spicer, yes. Yes. You are the man. And your wife should be so proud because you are one of the most intriguing men I have ever met for a younger guy. I'm an old bag. But don't take no shit off of these yellow journalists. Especially these cock of the walks that think they know everything. New York Times, Washington Compost. These guys, they're pretty much useless anymore. Because they're always going to pick on the Trump administration. because Hillary was to be the queen. Remember? Everybody's lost because Hillary's not the queen. And I love it. So don't take no shit off these guys. You stand your ground. And if you screw up once in a while, you know what? You're only human. What one of us does not screw up once in a while? You know, and Kellyanne, I love you, babe. Katrina McPherson, love you too. Judge, Napolitano, don't take no shit. You know that. I love our new administration. Just don't back down. Keep moving forward. You know how it works. Keep moving forward no matter what they say or do. Because we have a mission. Our mission is to save America. Is to make America great again. And to all you folks down there in Tennessee, yeah, baby. Keep supporting our president. It might take 18 months to 2 years, but we're going to be so much better. You know why? Because God is on our side. Being right and righteous about our beliefs and our love for our fellow Americans is going to take this home. And do what you can on your local levels. Attend your city meetings, county meetings. Videotape them. You know, because they always like to claim, well, it's a federal mandate that we make you cut your lawn to 2 inches tall, or that you can't have a stock pond, or that you have too many junk cars in your yard. You know what? Fuck them. They don't control the world. You do. You control everything on the local level, and our president is doing the very best he can do to make it a state issue, a local issue, and then we can hold their feet to the fire, and if they don't do their job, we can kick their ass out. And that is one of the best things this president has done. So with that, love to all Americans, patriots, gun owners, property rights activists. I could not be more proud. And this is Amazon Jude coming to you from Wyoming. Stay strong.